to report out of the closed session. We have nothing, no action to report.
I want to make one comment, and I said this to a couple here, but I kind of wanted, because we like to say, quote, on the record, and since Kim is filming this, that helps do that. I understand that there are people who are understandably concerned that before this board would make any kind of decision about the public safety project over here, that there should be, the process should be as transparent as possible, which I agree with. I can just say this before anything, if anything comes to us for a decision, for at least 2 weeks prior to a meeting, it will be posted on the website for review. 2 weeks prior to the meeting on the website for review. And we will do the same thing we've done in the past, which is send out a letter to every household advertising a large meeting so that everybody knows and everybody can come. I don't know exactly what would happen at that meeting, but I would be very surprised if at that meeting we didn't hear more public comment and likely open up another period of comment to make sure everybody has a chance to weigh in before the statement. So for anybody who has concerns that, you know, if you blink, there's going to be a quick notice at a meeting and 3 people come and decide that's not how it's going to go. And I'm going to really insist on that. And I would hope that all the board feels the same way. Okay? Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Rich. Now is the time for public comment. Please limit your comments to items that are not on the agenda and limit them to 3 minutes if you would. We're not authorized to engage in a dialogue about public comments, but of course we run things kind of informally whenever we can, so please identify yourself and take your full 3 minutes if you'd like. Thank you. You got it. Go okay.
Okay, you're okay, as you said, 70 Fawn. I appreciate what you said, and I find it very reassuring that you would give more lead time for meetings, because honestly, it has been problematic in the past when meetings are called suddenly. I understand your volunteers, I understand you have a hard time getting it all together so everybody can quick come to a meeting, but honestly, it is a hardship on the public who wishes to attend your meetings when there is not more notice than there has been with, say, this one. It may be legal, but it doesn't help. So my suggestion is this. Since this November, the Hollow will hold no vote on the directors' renewed 4-year terms, and since the drought and fire-wise Marin and fire-safe Marin are raising the awareness and expectations of district residents, I would like to suggest that we do a district vote-off. I would like to share a mailing to all district residents, allowing them to vote on the $2 million transfer of district assets. The cost of the mailing would be split equally. Proponents and opponents would each get 1 page double-sided, plus a mutually agreed upon ballot form would be included. And I hope that you will consider this and welcome it as a non-litigious, uncontentious way to ensure that people believe the district is accountable and that people who feel disenfranchised are provided a safe, non-controversial means to vote their interests as they see them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
I got more, it's more like a couple questions.
Okay. Evelyn Messenger.
Yes, Evelyn Messenger. Is Bruce bound? He's not here, right? So, okay. So Bruce, I agreed to ask a question on his behalf, which he thought was to save it for agenda item 6. It's about the election, but I don't know. Is that what I should do? Wait
If
for
it's
the
relevant
election?
to, if it's on the agenda, it should be addressed during the agenda process. If it's a non-agenda item, now's the time to bring it up.
Okay, so this being about the 2015 election, then I will be able to ask you that question then, you're saying?
Sure.
Okay, okay. And I have a question that has to do with negotiations, so can I ask that, or should I wait?
You can make a public comment about anything you like that's not on the agenda.
So I'm just not clear if it's on the agenda or not.
It's not on the agenda.
Okay,
I mean, do you have a copy of the agenda?
I do, but it says stuff, you know, it was hard to know because you didn't know what was gonna happen. Okay, so it's not on the agenda, so I'm able to make a public comment now. Okay, good. I did, just as a point of, just clarify for the record, where did you post notices for this meeting tonight? Did you just tell me where you posted the notices tonight for this meeting tonight?
We're not
I mean,
supposed
the
to
point
engage
is
in
it's,
a dialogue. This is
Oh.
a chance for you to comment.
Oh, so you won't answer me if I ask a question?
No.
Oh,
It-
so when can I ask a question I have to actually answer?
Anytime you like with respect to an agenda item. I mean, I'll be happy to tell you, if you look outside, the notices are posted there, and they're posted on the website.
Okay. No, my other question, so I can't really ask it if you won't answer it.
I'm not refusing the answer, but this is the public comment period where the public is welcome to stand up and make comments on items not on the agenda.
Right.
If an item is on the agenda that you'd like to engage in a dialogue with, we're happy to do so. This is your chance to talk about
Okay.
items not on the
I
agenda.
do have one comment.
Okay.
I was going to ask you, Tom, if you're still a member of the Homes Association. And I'm going to assume you are still a member of the Homes Association. So my public comment is that I'm not, I hope in the course of this, I would like it to be tonight, but it doesn't have to be, that you would lay out, and since I'm barred from being a member of the Homes Association, I would like to be assured that you are negotiating with the organization you're a member of, and that I would like you to assure me in some way that my interests, that you're representing my interests. So that's my comment.
Thank you.
The correct, no one is barred from being a member of the homeowners. You must live here. I'm barred right now from being a resident of San Francisco because I don't live there. So nobody lives, I don't know, that's a little rough language. Barred is not the real, the friendly term that we are here in the Sleepy Hollow Clubhouse. Barred is a little rough language. By reason of your choice where you live, you're not entitled. I think that would be more proper. Barred is a little rough. I would love to be from San Francisco, but I'm barred because I don't own a home there right now.
Can I reply, or?
No,
Well, it's not about-
it's not appropriate. This is a chance for people to just say what they'd like to say.
Okay.
David Swinger.
I appreciate the chipper day recently, and know a lot of my neighbors that participated. Only question I had was, it seemed some of my neighbors were confused that the items had to be taken to the end of Butterfield to send an able turnaround, and tried to explain to them that. And I believe after friendly conversation, you went ahead and took care of everybody that's had items out in their front yard either way, and I appreciate that. I think it's just a little confusing sometimes that people think they can load up their front yard. Overall, I think the chipper program is an excellent program, and I've taken advantage of it. And I know a lot of my neighbors, first time they've done it, were very appreciative that was there. So I just wanted to make a comment. I didn't realize if it's on here or not, but that's my thoughts. I wanted to throw that out
Fits
there.
under our charter. We're involved in fire protection
Right.
and getting that crap out of the way.
The more chipper days, the merrier, as far as I'm concerned.
Thank you. Any additional public comment?
I just have Steve Romer, 801 Butterfield.
Right.
Just a comment about the notification for these meetings. I think most people aren't aware. I know you say you put it on the website, which is great, but can we have something maybe at the gates a week in advance, a day or two in advance? Maybe describing the meeting and when it's going to occur. Important meeting tonight at the clubhouse, 7 o'clock.
Gates.
Well, the Sleepy Hollow gates. We call it the gates forever, right at the end of.
That's where it kids, it's always the gates.
Because that kind of is the official entrance to Sleepy Hollow. So more folks are maybe aware, because I don't think too many people are aware that these meetings occur.
And we hammer it in the sign that says Sleepy on one side and Hollow on the other, which I'm proud to say I made.
Wow. Didn't know that.
Thanks, Steve.
Or that.
All right, seeing no further public comment, we would now move on with the remainder of the agenda, beginning with the consent calendar items. This is item 4 on tonight's agenda. There are 2 consent calendar items. That's the approval of the prior meeting minutes from the meetings of April 22nd, 2015 and June 26th, 2015. I note that the June 26th, 2015 meeting on the agenda is identified as a special meeting. In fact, that's a typo. It was a regular meeting. June 26, 2015 was a regular meeting. Copies of the meeting minutes, copies of the meeting minutes
Sorry.
are available on the table over to the side. And I invite everyone to take a few minutes to peruse them. Make sure there's enough copies for everyone to...
But there is no February. You're just skipping over February. No, we're skipping over this. February's here?
Yeah.
Cool. But it's not on the agenda.
Tom, did you hear that question?
It was approved at the April 22nd meeting.
Which we wouldn't know because the April minutes were not approved. Is there some way to get around that?
Any input from the public on any of the meeting minutes that they have before them?
Well, I'll make a motion to approve minutes.
Second motion,
Okay,
all in favor?
all right.
Aye.
So that's the approval of the April 22nd, 2015 and June 26th, 2015 meeting minutes. Just a point of clarification, if you look at the April 22nd meeting minutes, the meeting minutes of the February 14, 2015 special meeting were in fact approved at that meeting. And I've brought with me tonight copies of the approved minutes from the February 14 meeting. Those minutes include each copy that I put out, a copy of the letter of intent framework that we presented at that meeting and that was approved by our board as the roadmap to the negotiations with respect to the project. All of these items have been up on the website since approximately February 10, 2015.
May I?
Please.
They really aren't there now. I mean, I'm fairly computer literate, and Bruce is very.
What's not there?
The February
It's there.
It's there now? Okay. And the second thing I would like to say is if you were looking at the agenda, you would see the June and the April minutes. You would have no way of knowing that the February minutes had been approved because the April minutes are not released until they're approved. So you can't tell that February minutes have been approved until the April minutes are approved, which you only find out on tonight's agenda. It just seems a little cumbersome, you know?
It's not ideal, but the February 14 meeting minutes were up for approval at the April 22nd meeting. At the February 14 meeting, we reordered the agenda of the meeting to accommodate the Ross Valley Fire personnel who were here so they could return to their service duty positions as soon as possible. When the meeting minutes were drafted, it did not reflect the reordering of the meeting's agenda. So they were presented orally by me at the April 22nd meeting, subject to being revised and presented in written fashion tonight. That's why I'm making them available again. If you see the April 22nd meeting minutes, you'll see that they're revised.
Appreciate that you did that. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the next agenda item. These are the action or possible action items. It's items numbers 5 through 16. As the chair of tonight's meeting, I'd like to remove 2 items, if I could, from the agenda without objection. The first would be the discussion under item number 9. That's the discussion of the possible financial assistance program for sprinkler installations in connection with the adoption of the new fire code. It's premature to entertain that program until the code is actually adopted. We have begun work on a possible plan to try to help residents defray some of the costs if they have to retroactively comply with the sprinkler requirements. But until the code's formally adopted, we don't want to try to fashion a plan that might need to be adjusted. The next item is item 6, and I'm sorry I took those out of order. Evelyn, I'm not going to remove it from the agenda, but I'm going to indicate that I'd like to request that the oaths of office not be administered tonight, that we wait until after the November 3rd election has occurred, just as a sense of formality.
So can I
Yes, you can. You're
ask
happy to
Bruce's
comment.
questions?
Of course.
Okay.
So just let the record reflect that item 9 is removed, item 6 is reduced. All right, let's commence now. Rich, I'm sorry?
No, I'm just saying, yes.
Okay, then the first item then is to announce whether any action has been taken during the closed session. As I mentioned, it has not. That's item 5. So we'll skip, or item 6, let's take up item 6 now, everyone, if you'd like. This has to do with the report on the results of the election that is scheduled to occur on November 3rd, 2015. Directors Finn and Berto submitted their candidacy papers. No one filed to run in opposition to them. And as a result, the procedure on the elections code is that the County Board of Supervisors, in lieu of conducting an election, appoints any unchallenged nominee. And that has actually occurred. I received the paperwork approximately 2 weeks ago from the county appointing Director Berto and I to the positions that we hold. There will not be an election held for our positions on November 3rd. Okay, Evelyn, go ahead.
Okay, I'm not sure, I think Bruce's mother passed away, and so he couldn't be here. So he asked if I could read his question, and I said I would, but really, you should, I think, address the camera. This is more, it's not really me asking, so I'm a little uncomfortable, but anyway. So he says it was his understanding that the election filing period was between July 13th and August 7th. Is that correct?
I don't know if that's correct. It was within roughly that time period, but I don't know if those are the specific dates.
Okay.
It's all available on the county elections website for him to look up.
Right.
Okay, good, let me.
In fact, could I just comment on that? The county has the primary obligation, the county elections officer has the primary obligation to publicize elections, filing time windows, expiration dates, and those sorts of things. That lies with the county. The county publishes this officially in a newspaper of general circulation each time they file a notice of this nature. The Marin Independent Journal is the newspaper they use. If you also read the Independent Journal, you'll notice that approximately every week or two during the election filing cycle, the IJ will publish a story about who has filed and who hasn't filed, and that the window is closing. And then when the window closes, a notice is sent out to everyone who has filed, indicating that you have a challenger or you do not. There's a slightly extended time period if you file for an office for which an incumbent is not seeking re-election. That's my understanding. But it's only an extra week, I think, in which to file. But beyond that, the county sends to every local agency that's conducting an election or participating in the election a notice indicating all the open seats and what the filing requirements are, and that notice was duly posted in a timely fashion here at the clubhouse.
So you're saying that the election, there's an official who's responsible for dealing with the election itself?
Her name is Linda Roberts. She's the registrar of voters.
Okay, good, I will pass it on. Now, so it's still not clear to me, Linda Roberts, okay. He says, Were there 3 public places that the Fire Protection District posted the notice for the election?
The answer is no. We posted the notice where we always post the notice, which is here at the clubhouse. It's the most centrally located and the customary place that we post. I'm assured by the registrar of voters that that fulfills the obligation.
Okay. Was it published on your website?
I'd have to check that, but that's not a requirement. As my understanding is, that's not a requirement under the elections code.
And was it posted at your office? I don't know what your office, you don't have.
We post here in lieu of an office,
This is it,
and I've been instructed by the registrar of voters that that's adequate.
okay, and I know the answer to this, but I'll ask it so you can answer it for the record. Was it emailed to the list of residents that the district broadcast to?
No, and we don't have an obligation to do that.
Okay,
The elections are conducted by the county, not by us. And there are ample opportunities for members of the public with an interest in following the election cycle to do so on their own. We publish a notice that is provided to us by the county in a location that the county has told us is conspicuous and adequate. Comment? All right. Any further comment? David?
Since I know we closed public comments, but since an item was removed, may I ask a question regarding the item that was removed?
Yes, you may.
Love the idea, by the way, of the financial assistance for the sprinkler installation. It's an ongoing issue with a lot of homeowners that I know personally, and can be quite costly. And I think I applaud you for considering that, and hope that's something that'll actually continue to have continued support by the board.
Thank you. Okay. We'll put that under the public comments then, since we removed the item from the agenda. It's a non-agenda item. Should have occurred in the public comment period, but you weren't aware that it was
Exactly.
removed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. And any further public comment on item number 6 regarding the election? All right. Seeing none, we're going to move on to item number 7, financial and operations reports. Turn that over to Treasurer Schorhoff.
So pretty simple, there's a copy of the budget available for everybody to look at. We're early in the year, relatively speaking, so the budget is normal. We spent about the same amount of money we anticipated. You notice there's no revenue yet because the first big revenue that we get doesn't come until almost January after the December property tax payments are made. So you won't see revenue until then, and then the second payment is much later in the year. So there's really nothing remarkable about it. The facts and figures are pretty much there. Probably the biggest thing that we've been doing outside of the routine expense for the fire contract really had to do with the chipper days. In terms of the audit, I actually just spoke with the auditor today. Our audit is ongoing. I know there are bookkeepers meeting with him on Monday. Always takes a little while, another month or two, the audit should be done. I don't see anything that isn't routine about it. Any questions?
Okay. Seeing none, we'll move to the next item. This is item number 8, the first reading of the proposed new district fire code and the consideration of a resolution adopting the same. Of course, we'll probably read it a couple of times. I'm going to defer to Rich on this, but just to mention that if you look at the minutes of the April 22nd meeting, I believe, you'll see that the 2 fire inspectors for the Ross Valley Fire Department attended the meeting. They were much later in the agenda when they